Why, hello there. Hello, welcome to Enchanted Art by Emily. I'm Emily, and today I will be your tour guide on a journey through a sketchbook slash art book, whatever we want to call it. So you will see that my sketchbooks tend to be a combination of sketches, plans for projects, practicing like poses or figuring out poses, like just overall practicing the art skills. Uh, but then also have times and pages and spreads that are complete miniature art pieces that I just wanted to make because I had to either get it out straight away. I didn't want it on canvas. I didn't want it digitally. I didn't want it on paper, like its own piece of paper, but I wanted it to be made. So I put it in this book. So I have this weird feeling of like calling it a sketchbook because it's not fully just sketches. And I don't want to call it an art book because it's also not just an art book. So it's like this weird concoction. But anyways, I wanted to take you through them. Currently, I am working on Sketchbook 8, and I've been doing this since 2020. So I'm going to start there because over on Instagram, I asked if we would want the current Sketchbook 7 or Sketchbook 1, and everyone kind of voted for Sketchbook 1. So we'll start there and we'll make our way up until whenever we get to the most up-to-date sketchbook. So welcome aboard the sketchbook tour. Sketchbook tour. Let's go. So welcome to the voiceover. For this specific tour and potentially the next couple of tours, I thought it would be best to kind of tell you what was happening in my life at the time to kind of see the influences that are coming in for my sketchbooking and my art making processes. Because I can see that a lot of the choices I made in this book was because I was in such a different headspace. Like, even just like I was completely in a different life when making this very first sketchbook. And like I can see that I was stumbling and trying to find how to work in this space. Like as you can see, like there's so many like empty space in these sketchbooks and a lack of actual sketching and thumbnailing, which we'll get to. But let's start by traveling back into time to March 2020, where like so many others, my life completely shifted and my views on things completely shifted. So there was that whole fear of fully being closed off from the world and my family because of the potentials of quarantining and everything that was happening in 2020. So one of those choices being that, the school I was teaching at went full remote. So I was going to be teaching from home anyways, all the way until we decided from March to June, like I think most of the entire world did. And my partner and I were like, hey, for our own health and our daily living, staying in our apartment that was, in the middle of the town we lived in, like smack dab in the middle of the town above a pizza shop, was just not going to be conducive for us. So we packed up our cars and we moved back to our hometown and stayed at his parents' lake house. So we were still kind of quarantining from our family, but was still close enough that if something were to happen, we had our family near us. And it was really, really nice. And especially because we just had access to the outside, which both him and I like desperately need for our mental health. So we kind of quickly got into a routine that was just like really, I think was the starting point for where we are now in our lives. I had the ability, kind of create these online office hours where like I would be in a Zoom call and I would just like wait for students or parents to pop in to have, if they had questions for the projects, like this was the time they could come to me and I can help them. I also had a set time of like when I was working to like answer, emails and do all the behind the scenes prep work stuff. But that kind of left a huge chunk of my day to focus on me, which was something I rarely, as a new time teacher at the time, and a young teacher, was like not really doing anymore. So I was like able to like focus on my physical health. I was like going out for runs, which I'm not much of a runner, or at least I didn't think I was, but then I started to and I was loving it. I was getting to read for fun again. And I finally made the choice to start creating again for myself, which I don't really remember the last time I was doing that, probably since I was a kid, maybe, because I think at the time had not had a sketchbook since undergrad. And most of those sketchbooks, for school were class assignments. They weren't for like, they were for my growth, but more for like, I need to finish this assignment. I need to do this homework, which is sketching. I wasn't doing things intrinsically. I was more externally motivated. So I had no idea where to really start with sketchbooking. So I got this sketchbook in May because it was like an early birthday present for myself. So I said, okay, let's do some mermaid, which you can see that at the time, most of those pages are pretty empty because I didn't know what to do. I didn't realize that the sketchbook was a place to study poses, thumbnail different compositions, to experiment and play. I was just like, I was going with my first thought. I just wanted to get this mermaid made because I also wanted to like post it online because I wanted to be the artist again. I wanted to be an artist, not just a teacher. I wanted to be an artist who teaches. So I was doing that. And I can really see that having really no outside guidance, no teacher or professor to like guide me through this, no direction externally, was like, oh, I really have to do this for myself. And sitting here, I can see how then that I can see that I was holding myself back because I had so much fear of failing and not having sketches come out perfectly. That like I was like holding this standard that my sketchbook was going to be like some sort of immaculate, provocative Renaissance like sketches that someday we're going to like tell the world something. I don't know. But like I had no skills in figure drawing. I never really took a class on it. So I never was taught how to like just have fun and study things that you enjoy to draw, you know what I mean? Like it had been such a long time since I had that feeling. So I kind of just began to draw, I guess, things that were interesting me, ideas that were interesting to me. And then I can like, that's where I can see the beginnings of how I work and play and experiment in my books now, and drawing those things that bring me joy and show off my hobbies and my interests. And a lot, honestly, just stepping away from the graphite pencil was like the biggest help for me, at like the most help at all, was just to use pencil, like colored pencils or pens, colorful pens, because it brought color to the page. It brought excitement to the page, but it also made me so I couldn't erase. And so I had to live with my mistakes, and it really, I think, helped a lot. And I'm just really extremely grateful to see that the artist that started this and finished this sketchbook did what she could at the time, and that the pages that fully resonate with me now and bring me so much joy now are the ones that were clearly the first steps to what I like to do now in my sketch/art books. And it makes me kind of really nervous and excited. What's a good comment? Nearsighted? Excited? It just makes me really excited and filled with butterflies to show the next little tour. So yeah, this was Sketchbook one. In my life at the time, I guess. Is where the tour ends. I hope you had a wonderful excursion going through Sketchbook 1 here at Enchanted Art by Emily. I hope your tour guide, Emily, was amazing and insightful. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And that you really enjoyed getting to kind of see what I was doing art-wise in 2020. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day, a mostly okay day, day, or just a day. I hope you have a day and you stay enchanted. Bye.